Hockey Nation fans, welcome back to the Hockey Nation live show with Coach Frenchy directly from the booth and Michael Devellano directly from the West Coast, California. Happy Wednesday, Michael. Welcome back and the show today.
Thanks, Frenchy. Day 6.
Here we go. Just move on forward.
Of-
We can see right now it's starting to be slower and slower about everything's going on left and right. I think the big name is out today. The show is going to be about the some signature contract, not a big name. I want to talk about also the retire of the captain of USA women team. She did retire yesterday. Then we're going to go through who is the best 20 next UFA on the list right now. Maybe you can give us some thinking direction where they can go, honestly.
Sure.
And then we're going to go about a little bit what happening with Tampa and Dallas. I have two big news for you about them, and then we'll see this show is going to bring. So I'm excited to be with you this morning and see what happening. You live right now. Can you give us a little bit what's going on?
In my life,
And you live, yep.
just working and looking forward to getting hockey, but that means we got to wait till January. So,
Yeah, I know it's something happening. I don't know if you know about this um, injuries in Boston Bruins happening yesterday. Well, not happened yesterday, but since they are,
Pasternak and Marchand.
yeah, they went to the surgery. They're going to miss a couple of times, maybe at the beginning of the. Honestly, the big rumor around the NHL is January 1st. They should be back, and on this one. I want to let you know tomorrow I will try to do if I have time today. I want to make you new conference and not new conference, new division of what
Like
I
a
expect, what I will do in 2020 and 2021 with
Okay.
Canadian team and give us your impression about what my idea behind that. We'll see happening. But let's
I
start
think
with
travel's an issue, right? So, I
yeah.
mean, if they can't cross the border, but I would be very surprised. I mean, I think this thing is worn out. It's welcome. I don't see people aren't dying from this the way they anticipated, and it's all political now. So you
The
got
only
to think
problem right now,
from the damn border, and we get to get some hockey.
the problem happening right now, we are going on the second wave and
It's
see if it's going to be worse or better at what happening in March. And
it's
that would maybe scare a couple of things about that. Maybe to shut down a couple of things and see.
well, that's the problem. I mean, our league is like, what are we doing? What's the WHL doing? I
Yeah,
might have to start watching the queue.
I know. I know it's left and right. Let's start with a couple of scenarios happening yesterday. The last one we talked was Clark Bishop with the Carolina, but it's most the minor one until maybe three player in NHL, and maybe talk about this. So we got yesterday from Islanders two small signature, one for the forward Austin Snar Nick. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
And
he's a
also,
small guy.
yeah. And then also Grant Hutton, defenseman. Both of them are no disclosure about the money side, but only thing is 2 years contract. So I'm pretty sure it's a two ways contract, AHL and NHL at some point. So minor here, of course, Islanders looking to increase the players for their maybe possible for the defenseman side, but just a minor one. Another one minor before we jump on the Patrick Marleau is a Casimir Casquizio from a goaltender for the Nashville Predator, 1 year contract, 700,000. This is just like minor there also. But let's start with happening in San Jose Sharks. It was very busy yesterday. First of all, two players returned to the Sharks. The Patrick Marleau signed another 1 year contract, 700K, and then also Colorado Avalanche ex-player now, Matt Nieto return again with San Jose Sharks. So maybe give us a bit information or your impression about both signature from Doug Wilson, the manager of San Jose Sharks.
So I think Nieto is the type of guy that they lost a lot of, right? Like he's fast, he's got some edge. He's a U.S. born player. He's getting up there. I mean, he's a 92, so he's actually from Long Beach, California, believe it or not, and played at Boston. But he was in San Jose for 3 or 4 years, and he was in Colorado. I was surprised that Colorado didn't keep him, but maybe they're anticipating, that he's not, isn't in their plans. But he's like a fourth line guy. He can flex up to third line a little bit. He plays fast and tough. He is a good skater. Like, he's a really quick guy. So I think it'll help San Jose. They need more of that type of player. This might be for them, right? Like, this whole contraction, they need some inexpensive guys that can contribute. Like,
I agree with you on that one over there. Is a really depth player, speed wise. He's not a big body like 6'3", 6'4", but he brings a lot of energy. Maybe by his speed, he can score about 10 goals. Maybe I'm not having the stat in front of me, but he can average 10.
So he's pretty consistent. Like, he had 15 one year, he had 11, like he had 8, 9. So he's an NHL guy. Like, he can play.
I think Colorado, Michael, for that one is more about they have a depth with Tyler Jost now, and also the signature of Nick Kushinin yesterday or the day prior to that one. So I think their depth is getting more deep over there. So I think that chance to let him, it was better for them to let it go. But I'm curious about what you think about Patrick Marleau. That's what I want to know more about. What you think about Marleau? Well, I'm happy for him. Honestly, he can play one more year. It's a bit the Justin Williams of the 2019-20 right now.
Anything like Justin Williams. Justin Williams has like a clutch element to him. And I think Patrick's he's a gentlemanly guy. He's well respected in the room. He's not going to disrupt things. He's capable of contributing offensively. He's not never been known as an intense player, even though he's a big guy. Like, he's 6'2", 225, right? Like, he's a big, thick guy that doesn't play big. And I think he's got a legacy in San Jose. So if he wants to keep playing, let him play. He'll play third line minutes probably. And he can flex up on the power play when they need him. But, at this point, he's not like a mainstay on that team. So it's
exactly
going back and trying, they got 2 ex-players. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's guys out there right now that they could grab for less money, like, similar money that would change the culture there a little bit. I feel like they like comfort a little bit in San Jose. It's weird, but maybe that's just my impression.
I think it's an organization. They are really loyal usually with their players.
Very loyal.
You know what I mean? It's always been that way over there. And Marleau, I really believe, is the family guy where he will finish his career in San Jose. And I would not be surprised. He's another player like, so many players like in Los Angeles Kings, like, Ned Meyer, Johnson, Rob Blake, Robbie Tal. They stay in this area when they are done. Marleau have, I believe, 3 kids. You can see them.
He's got 4 kids if you include Mitch Marner.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, I think it's good for him. It's good for the San Jose. Yeah. But now my next question before we jump on the Aaron Dell is, what Joe Thornton now? The rumor yesterday from Sportsnet, TSN, and all those guys was a little bit sent him in Toronto, Maple Leaf, where for me, I will give my impression to you right away, and then you can tell us what you're thinking. I don't think this is a good move for Toronto to get Joe Thornton.
I'm trying to, they already got Spezza, so they already got a.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly why I nail it for you is because they have Jason Spezza.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's similarity between the players. Joe Thornton might be a little bit grittier and bigger, but they're old guys, right? So they both want to win, and maybe Toronto's thinking they load up on a few of these graybeards to bring experience. Joe's had some pretty long playoff runs and close calls, more than Spezza. So maybe that's the thought. I feel like Jason Spezza will occasionally bring some intensity when he thinks it fits. But, he's not always that guy, and he's never been that guy. Thornton is, if it's inexpensive, why not? Like he can still play.
Because they already
I get it.
face
But
up.
your bottom six is like what it is, and I don't really believe Spezza's like, he's still skilled, but he's always had deficiencies. I think he'll play in a responsible game now just to try to show what he wish he had done. But Joe Thornton's legitimately been there. Like, he's been in playoff battles and he wants to win. I think he's got a little bit more bite to him than Spezza. So it's probably not an either or, like it might make sense rather than going for an unproven guy. You're going to have a lot of back-to-backs. You're going to play Spezza back-to-back games or Thornton.
So if I'm Kyle Duba this morning, and I will never be Kyle Duba, I will never be like manager of Toronto. But if I wake up this morning and I have a chance to sign Thornton, and I already have Spezza, I will say to you, I would prefer to get a Brian Boy, a 6'6" guy, 4-line with Simon on the left, and I'm going to get Matt Martin on the right, or another physical line like this, where he can shut down more players this way versus Joe Thornton to play as a fourth center over there. Because I don't think so you can have Spezza and Thornton on the same lineup as a different center 3, center 4.
No.
I don't see this.
Well, you could, but they're veteran guys, right? Like, Spezza's still skilled. Thornton can still do what he does, but they're going to do extra stuff because they're older and they're going to play the bottom 6 role. I don't think it hurts them, and maybe it brings something to the room. I like the Brian Boyle idea, and I like Matt Martin. Like, why wouldn't Toronto bring back Matt Martin? They have not been the same without that guy. Like, he was a good mentor to the young guys. He's tough as nails, and he can go to the net and he can score a little bit.
I'm surprised Islanders did not sign him yet, because he's really the player of. He's very close with Lamoriello. They have a bond between him and Lamoriello. So I'm surprised maybe they will tell him, "I look, wait, see happening with a salary cap. Don't worry about this. We're going to get you whatever it is, maybe." But again, this is just sharing together. Like, we're not like
we don't know for sure. But I like. So is Brian Boyle a free agent again?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Why wouldn't somebody grab him?
Yep. He was.
I could sign him before. Like, if you could get, maybe he's holding up for extra cash, but even if you get him for 1.5, he's a fourth line guy
for $1 million right now. He was, you know what I mean? He was with Florida Panthers, finished the season. He signed up in I think it was late October last season to do the season over there. Remember, he was training with the Boston College.
Yeah.
During the first 2 months.
I don't know. He's a big guy. He can win faceoffs. He contributes a little bit offensively. Like, he's not fast, but he doesn't have to be because he gets there because he's so big. Like, he's 6'8".
The rumor is Montreal talking about him, but that's another rumor. Like,
like, that would be a really good fit in Toronto.
Talking about rumor, like, everybody's like right now in Montreal. Someone somehow somewhere want to hear like the negotiation or the talking between agent and Montreal turn off. Someone in Vancouver start to say Vancouver going to get Gallagher, and now they, how this works in Canada now. Everybody trade Gallagher to Vancouver, and now the trade is done, and it's just crazy about that one over there.
The rumors work there. I mean, Brendan played in Vancouver for the Giants, so we watched him quite a bit. I would be lying if I said I thought that guy would jump in the NHL.
Now, do you have then it's a rumor happening yesterday, but just curious, because a lot of prospect, those young kids. You have a kid in Vancouver, I think it's Olzenger or Olgender, HOL something. I'm not knowing the name in front of me right now. He's a big prospect for Vancouver. I don't know if he can get that one over there or whatever it is. He was a top pick for them. I don't know if you know. I can look for Canucks. I'm sorry again.
I'm trying to find the name.
Yeah, it's Oglender is a left wing. He play in the SHL. Neil Oglender.
Oh, Oglender is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Hoaglander's he's got really good skill. He's a goal scorer. He's a very intriguing prospect. Like I tend to think like if you watch him with Sweden, he's a very talented player. So yeah, Niels Holgander, I can't remember how you pronounce it.
yeah,
Hollander.
no, me too. That's why I was not trying to not be too
Yeah,
much.
yeah. He's an intriguing prospect. I mean, I don't know how much they're counting on him. Like if he's coming over, then I don't know. Does he take a year or two to adjust? But he's highly skilled. He's not. I don't think he's very big, but he's like fast and he's got really good skill level.
My point to you is they will set him plus a first round pick versus Gallagher.
Good.
He makes sense to me, but I think Gallagher is the heart of the logo in front of him, and I don't see why Bergeron will let him go.
Yeah, it feels weird to. I mean, maybe they do it. Hoaglander is a legit prospect, but I don't think there's any guarantee he's going to step in and do what Gallagher does. I mean,
Yeah. Talking about signature before we move on, Aaron Dell signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs goaltender 1 year. Was 800. So I don't know, get that one over there. Maybe they expect 3 goalie for the next. You know what I mean?
they already have Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
They've got Anderson, and now you got why would Dell even do that to himself?
I don't know.
Like Chicago, what is Chicago doing?
That's the big deal over there. I'm going to give you a couple of names in a few minutes, and you're going to see what Chicago could get as a goalie for 1 year. But the last signature yesterday is about Spencer Smallman, 735K. He was a RFA 1 year for Carolina Hurricanes. Honestly, he played a small role for Carolina, honestly. So we'll see happening over there. I want to talk before we jump, and I think she's a. I always love to, my podcast talking about girls and men around the world, hockey, everything like that. I want to talk about someone really changed not the philosophy, but changed a lot hockey world for women on the USA team. She was the captain, Megan Duggan. For many years, she carried on the team. She was one of the best women hockey player around the world. You know what I mean? She was like, she's an assistant coach with Clarkson.
Yeah.
Since she was play with that part over there. But, I love to not only about NHL, but you talk about her, you talk about Kemi Granado and, Kendall Coy, Schofield. You know what I mean? So I think she was like, an icon for hockey and for maybe a role model for many women, youth girls play hockey right now. And I think she did very well. I think she was one of the great hockey player playing for that team over there. So was nice to hear, what she did for the organization, for not only for USA hockey team, but also for USA hockey organization. She was really been a spokesman, a woman about the hockey around the world, and I think it was nice to mention her after Kemi Granado. I think she was she became the icon of that team after that.
Or Hillary Knight, but yeah, for sure. I think so. She's going to continue to coach. She's not that old, but
33.
Yeah, usually those girls play a while, but it's a tough sport. We had them in Everett at our arena. They did a camp there, and man, those girls were awesome. It was just great to have. I mean, I think that the women's pro game has really struggled. It's tough because you're gonna, hockey as a sport, as a business, is tough. It's not the number one sport out there, and then you add women's on top of it. There's not the level of participation. We want women to play hockey, right? Not necessarily against guys, because there's a significant difference, and we want them to be at an appropriate skill level and safety. But man, the girls are tough. They can really skate. I wish I could skate like some of those girls. It's amazing to watch them. I think we had the one, was it Hillary that did the NHL skills competition?
Yeah.
I mean, she can fly, right? They kind of set it up so it looked like she won, but she can really skate. Like it's a good brand of hockey, and the girls are competitive. Like I think what would be amazing to see is that the NHL get behind even a small group of women's teams that don't travel.
Yeah.
Like you learned a lot from the bubble. You have a huge digital platform. It's low risk. Like rent ice and sell tickets. Right? Like you don't need to travel around. You can have a unique approach to it. And I think that would be smarter because otherwise, the travel is one of the biggest expenses. We don't need a women's team in all these cities. What we just need women's teams. And if they get exposure on digital, and she would be a great ambassador, Hillary Knight, Cami Granado's a scout now with Seattle. That would be my goal for women's hockey. The NHL get behind something, a non-travel league, learn from the bubble and push it on digital. Because I think that'll bring more girls in to play the sport, and that's what we want.
She's always been the one, like, talking about like the gender, the race, the sexual orientation. She's, she's really about equality and about like woman, and she wants to become a, manager in hockey, to become the first woman to be an NHL manager, everything like that. So I think she's always been recognized as a front runner, the front all the women talking about different, sometimes difficult conversation around the world, right? And I think that's one way remember her like that way. She was born in Denver, not Denver, but Denver, and she's 5'10", and she have a good career. So the key to me was just to mention about this.
Amazing. I think hockey players are very community driven, right? And when someone's into the sport, generally they're pretty accepting of it, right? But you have to prove your mettle. You have to be someone that they trust. And I think she would be someone that would be trustworthy to players. Like if she was good at what she did, then I think that she could totally accomplish what she's saying. I mean, we're seeing teams hiring scouts, Kim Pegula, Marian Illich, like these are women in hockey that have led at the executive level. There's lots of room in there, but in the end, we want the best of everyone, right?
Exactly. Let's move on with we talk about the best 20 UFA like 1 week ago, like 5 days ago, honestly, and what the remaining of the 20 players. And I will mention all different names and just mention what you believe, where they can go, what do you think they can maybe get, everything like that. So let's start with honestly, who's the remaining are the number one. I think so far it's Mike Hoffman. It's a left wing for Florida Panthers. He's 30 years old. He's carry on a cap of $5.1875 million. What do you believe, or what do you think he could go? What do you think he can get, or whatever you're thinking about that?
So that one's a weird one for me. Florida still in my mind has a hole, but I don't think they're going to touch him. Ottawa has a hole. They're not going to touch him. So I could see Columbus doing something. Columbus use a little bit of help there. If the Islanders had room, I could see them doing it. I don't see a lot of other places that need him. I don't know what you're thinking, but those are kind of the ones that kind of came to my mind when I was trying to think about it. Like Columbus for sure has opportunity there, and that would probably be where I could see maybe New Jersey.
I really believe right now at that moment. I think one of the next one we're going to talk is about Tadonov. So my point to you, I would not be surprised one of the two of them going to be with the Nashville Predators.
I think I don't know their cap situation really closely.
$8 million.
They have $8 million. So then there you go. I mean, they need something too. So that would make a lot of sense to me that they get one of those guys.
I really believe that's one of the two there. Of course, the number one, the second one we want to talk about is honestly the same team. Evgeny Tadonov, $4 million prior this year. He's 30 years old, same age like Hoffman. 20, back-to-back 28 goals campaign down in Florida. 65, 70 point the past two seasons, and he played many years in KHL. I I don't know why was the plan of Bill Cito right now. They
I don't know.
maybe
I'm trying to figure it out.
Uyghur. They try to
Yeah.
trade the Uyghur right now, maybe at Toronto, whatever it is. But my point to you is,
Is he
I
trying
think
to trade Mackenzie Weegar?
say
Is
again.
the he's trying to trade Mackenzie Weegar
Yeah, they try to because he's a
for what?
RF. And my concern about this part right now, they don't have anymore a strong defense side, so I don't know what's the point there. Maybe making Wiggers ask
Expensive,
for more
ridiculous,
but I don't
maybe.
think the right share is not a top two defenseman. I think 3 and 4 is really where he should be. Maybe 5 for me, but because many teams, he will not be in the top three and nowhere close.
Yeah,
That's a bad evaluation for me. I don't, what I mean, like I said, I'm not like anybody else here, but
yeah.
I just
You're
I don't.
saying the contract was already too big of what he's asking.
If he asks him more $3.54 million, I think he's not really he's not at that much for economically what happening right now. I'm not saying he cannot
Yeah,
make the $4 million,
yeah.
but economically right he got right now, I think he's not. He should not no ask maybe a bridge 1 year $3 million and move on to the next happening after next
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, he's not like an offensive guy, really. I like him. I don't
Yeah,
dislike him. But I think to your point, like if he was 2.83, that would make a lot of sense to me. So he's asking more than that. And I guess Zito may say, hey, I can find other guys that are, I could probably get a Sammy Vatanen for 3.5.
Yep, and the same Maywall, I think for the both player we just mentioned, I think Florida should targeting more Dadonov at Hoffman. Dadonov play most of the time with Huberdeau and Pargov. We know they get the new players signature with the Florida Panthers, but still, I believe Dadonov should be the one should stay in South Florida. I don't see why Zito waiting or whatever his plan, but we'll see in the next couple of days. Talking about the number 3 on that list is Michael Grenland. We talked a little bit about him. He is only 27 years old. $5.35 million will be far to get that one. My suggestion to him, it will be 1 year. Go get 1 year contract at $4 million, maybe, and because the number he got before, it was not compared last season. He struggled a little bit, but he can be a third good, solid, or maybe a 2 at some different team. But again, who can get $4 million right now with all the stuff going on left and
I
right?
don't know if you'll get that or no. It's really a good question. I could see what you're saying, which is get him for a year for 3.5, $4 million. I could see him fitting in Ottawa for sure. I think that it'll be interesting to see what Minnesota does, but they could always bring him back. I don't think they will. But that would make a lot of sense to me. Is Ottawa's just got so many holes up there and a lot of cash, right? I mean, they're gonna have to spend to get to the floor, probably.
Now, you remind me this. I don't know. Right now, I just see Trocheck. Carolina, is it like Jordan Stahl? Is it a center or is play winger?
Yeah. No, he's third line center.
Okay, so I don't see it's a good place over there. Talking about Nashville with Michael Grenland, go ahead.
I think Granlund should play center, but he's always moved back and forth, and I don't know if that's because of him. Like he's not a big guy. He's fast. He's a good playmaker, but sometimes he struggles against bigger centers. So
talking about Nashville, honestly, he was with Nashville last season. I know one we have to watch. Is to see what happening with Colin Wilson over there, but not Colin Wilson, but Greg Smith over there. He was on the UFA before, but move out. The next one I want to talk about this has always been the one we don't know what's going on with this guy, more the mental or the mindset of the players before anything else. Is Travis Hamonic, Calgary Flames. He got like $3.85 million. You know what I mean? For me, I really believe if you want to accept 2.5, he should go with Winnipeg.
Yeah. If he wants to be kind of westish, that's kind of central, but maybe that's part of it. That would fit really well. He's a very capable player. Just I don't know what's going on with him. It's weird. Like
Yep. I think that
I
would
don't
be
know
a good question about. You talk about 2.5. Florida Panthers could we get that one over there?
for sure. Yeah, I
You know?
mean, I think if there's no problem with him, if you're not worried he's going to bail on you,
Yep.
then he's a very interesting package. He's a big guy. He's a good kind of 4 or 5 defenseman, and he's got a good shot. He's not going to get you big numbers anymore, but
Yep. I agree with you.
I like him on
Yep.
that. But it worries me.
The next one is Kovalchuk from Washington Capitals. We know his season last season with Los Angeles King, never been the player he wanted to be. He got a 700K from Montreal. One day bring him. He did well. He did well with Montreal.
Yeah,
You
he's
got a
very
little bit.
he's super talented, right? Like the guy's got everything that you would want in a player. The guy works his ass off the ice. He's got kids. He's a family guy. He's skilled. He's talented. He's just a bizarre player. Like it was a good fit in Montreal. LA, it was horrible watching him. I think part of it was he was misused. I didn't really get to see him much in Washington. I don't know if you did, but he's he always has a reputation of being a bit of a cancerous guy. I don't know, but it didn't seem like that in Montreal.
No, yeah, Montreal, he did very well. You know what I mean? But again, if you want to go Montreal 700, expect him play maybe like 2 game on 3, or maybe have a role, minor role, and get him more time on power play, some stuff like that. I
Have you
say
seen
he's.
him? Have you seen him off
So again,
He's a. Have you seen him off the ice?
no, no, this.
He's a monster. Like he is an incredible fitness. Like he's in incredible
Oh, yeah.
shape.
Another type like Yager and those.
Yager,
You know what I mean? They work very hard on their body. Everything like that.
yeah, more dedicated player.
The next one is Eric Ola. Again, another center left wing Florida Panthers cut on the trade from Carolina with Vincent Trocheck and Walmart. Walmart is gone now, and then Ola could be the next one. Ola, we came from Minnesota while prior to that Carolina team. Always be I think a third line. He got a contract 2.75 million with the situation now. I think he's 28. I think he should get a $2 million somewhere somehow. That'll be interesting to see where he can go. But
he's had injury problems too, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's always a concern. I don't
By
know
the
where
way,
it's really tough right now.
he
Like
had a good year when he was with Vegas Golden Knights. Remember when he came there, he had a good year behind Erik Karlsson and Marchand. So honestly, before he got traded to Carolina, so I apologize for my mistake over there. But you said he's always been high injuries. You know what I mean?
he's had some injury problems, but he's not that big. He's a good centerman. He can score you a little bit of goals. He's a good playmaker, and he's a quick player. I wouldn't say he's fast, but he's quick, right? It's weird because if you look around the NHL, though, there's not a lot of holes at that third line spot where he would fit. Like most people have filled it. Like if you go through all the rosters.
Now, it's funny to mention this. Maybe you won't laugh at me, but I would not be surprised if he returned to Vegas.
I could see it. I'm just looking at their lineup because
They lost Peter Stastny.
But all right, so here's what I'm thinking, right? It all depends on Cody Glass. If Cody Glass is healthy, he's going to be their second line centerman. Nicholas Watson could play second line or third line center, and I think he could flex up to second. He's better than people realize. So, but you're right. Like he would be a pretty good fit in Vegas. That's probably I don't see many other places that would fit.
Yeah. Again, I think I really believe it's Vegas need another center.
Yeah.
And the next one I'm going to talk about this is Carl Soderberg. Um,
Like,
Soderbergh, you know the story about him go from Boston Bruins and then from Colorado Avalanche. One have a good season last season,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
Almost 50 point, have a, 23 goal. Since since he got 23 goal Colorado, he got last year 49 point. But $4.75 million, you will never get that amount. It's
sure.
another 1.5 maybe to 2 million max. I will go more for 1.5. Get him a third line versatile with four line maybe. But I think he deserves to play in NHL somewhere. For he
You
can.
know, he's tall. He's a good centerman. He can play left wing a little bit. He's not tough necessarily, but he's a good two-way player. And he's not that fast, but he's smart. So
Yeah,
I think he could fit in a lot of places. I think, again, this is a player that he might have to say, hey, I'll play wing. Because a
yeah,
lot of teams have addressed their first three centers. Like, it seems like teams are conscious of the fact that they're going for depth. And that probably reflects the signings we've seen, and some of the trades. Because if you go
the,
down all the rosters, like, oh, he's not going to replace those guys. Like,
the next one is surprise everybody, but it's Anthony Duclair. He was RFA. He went to UFA now because the Senator did not extend his qualified offer. He came back coming off of a career high at 23 goals, but he scored only one goal the last 29 game, I believe, was something around that. He's 25 years old. He was a contract at 1.65 million. I think
yeah,
he can bring somewhere somehow $1 million, $1 million for 1 year somewhere. It's just which team can give that part over there. And I will be surprised you this one. I think Buffalo can do that.
I don't know why Buffalo would. I mean, Buffalo's pretty deep on forward. They got three lines that are pretty damn good. If unless they think they're going to bury Dylan Cousins for a year, which I could see that. Like if they say, "Hey, we're not going to expose this guy to the expansion draft. Let's keep." But where's Dylan Cousins going to play? I mean, he's frankly, I think he's past being in the WHL. He could make the NHL now. But maybe that's part of their strategy. But I don't know. I think he could help Buffalo. Casey Middlestad's there. He's still in the depth. Do you really want another guy like that? I don't know. I would like to see him go back to Ottawa.
Do you believe he could fit with Tampa?
I mean, what? Where? With who? Like, if they got rid of Johnson, you're saying?
No, he's already gone. They have to send another players now.
What do you mean he's already gone? Did they buy him out?
But he's not yet is qualified. He's a UFA right now.
Who is Tyler Johnson?
Yeah.
No, he's got a contract. He's like got 5 years or 4 years on that contract.
Yeah, but he got buyout or something. Something happened with him.
They just put him on waivers and nobody picked him up. So
they
still have that contract.
And they have to move another player to find out because what happening now, they have three players with RFA. They have Cernak, Sergachev, and Cirelli.
Well, that's my point. Like, how are you going to put him anywhere? There's no room for. I think he's the last thing on their mind. I think if anything, they're going to bring up Matthew Joseph. I would rather have Matthew Joseph than him any day.
What's still happening anyway? The next one, veteran defenseman, Carolina Hurricanes, 29 years old. I love this kid. I don't know what. I think Florida Panthers should look about him. $2.5 million for 1 year. We may be returning over there but again, we'll see. He can fit on many teams in NHL. Ventanen, I think. The only problem he got is like a little bit like you mentioned about Ola. I think his long injury history is like, that's maybe one reason why he struggled.
He always misses time. Like he has not played. I don't know. He played 47 games last year, 50 the year before. I guess he played 72, 71, 71, 67, 48. You're always going to lose some games, and unfortunately, he's not tall. Like he's like 5'10", but he's a great skater. Right shot defenseman. He's a great number 4 if you can get him. Like, man, what a great 4. Because you can play him on the power play a little bit.
Then the next one, I want you to mention this. Both of them more than the first one. Andres Atanasio and also Alex Galchenyuk, both are 26 years old. One have a contract 3 million. Galchenyuk was at 4.9. Thank you, Mr. Bergevin. And two players struggle. Galchenyuk more for a couple of years ago. And since like a year prior, Andres and Eiserman was Detroit. I don't know what happened with him also, but
terrible. He's Andreas Athanasiou has all of the talent in the world. Very, very skilled, high, lots of moves and high skill level. He scored 30 goals that 1 year.
Yep.
He is so bad defensively. It is like crazy. Like he has no sense without the puck. Like he should be on the other team. It's bad. Like, and when he went to Edmonton, I was very surprised that Holland traded for him. I was like optimistic that maybe that would help, and they were like,
give him a lot for him.
I don't know what's going to happen with him. He might go to the KHL.
Yeah, because he just came back from 1 year. Like what you talk about 30 goals, it's 18, 19.
It's not that long ago.
No, it's 18, 19. It's 1 year ago. Like
there's nothing wrong with his skill set. They played him that year as a second line center. He cannot play center. They put him on the wing. He's worse. So it's very frustrating to watch him on the ice. If you look at his stats, you're excited.
Talking about frustration, you cannot ask him over the word frustration for this kid, Alex Galchenyuk. Honestly, I don't know. He was in Montreal. Yeah, I think the biggest problem for him, and I'm always, I don't like talk about anybody like in the bad way, but he's always been his dad. His dad is maybe the worst enemy for him about mindset, everything like that.
What a waste.
Yeah, that's the best word. I think that's the best word you can describe about this kid. So much expectation, so much high caliber player. You remember when Montreal drafted him?
I thought he should have first that year, but he's. I don't know what it is. If it's the dad, then the dad's like he's a man. I mean,
no, the dad called him every freaking game after the game.
Break, like that's ridiculous. Maybe that I think he single-handedly between him and Yakupov made Igor Larionov quit as an agent.
But it's another player should be selection
KHL. I don't see him having another opportunity. I thought him going to Pittsburgh made a lot of sense because they've got a very strong culture there, and they have taken players that were reclamation, and that was not that they were like even finished with the guy.
He was the one on the trade with Jason Tucker.
Jason Tucker?
Minnesota to Pittsburgh?
Oh, Zucker. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Zucker, I'm sorry. So, all right, next one, 3 veteran players, and Derek Brassard, Corey Perry, and Joe Thornton. We already know with Thornton, it would be San Jose or Toronto. I don't see any other place. Corey Perry is a pretty interesting. I don't know why Dallas don't give him another contract, $1 million, and stay there, buddy, and enjoy.
He should stay in Dallas. He's a rat. I mean, but he's effective, Yeah. You're not going to get the offense, so you can get him for cheaper, and he'll kind of chip in. He's like a veteran guy that could help you out. Like, I don't know what he's like in the room. He's a weirdo on the ice.
And then the youngest of the 3 is only 33.
What was the other one that you mentioned?
What?
What was the one with before Corey Perry you mentioned?
Yeah, it was Derek Brassard. That's the one.
You got to go back to the Islanders, man. He played really good. I think they're trying to figure out how to fit him in. Like he still can play. I mean,
good point here. I agree with you about 10 goals last season, 32 points, 66 games. I think he fit well. Third line, fourth line. He was in and out during the playoff, but at the end of the day, $1 million per year. I think it would be a good fit for Islanders. You still have an extra player play on the team and don't hit too much with salary cap. He's already know his system, pirate rats around him, everything. I think he's a good fit for about. I agree absolutely with you. The next one is only because he's on the UFA, but he's not going to go nowhere. It's Zito Chara. So he's 43 years old. It's just a time to figure out Boston, what he do with him. It's more about not Boston, but more about him, what he wants to do the following year, but he's going to be home or he's going to be Shara at Boston Bruins. That's it. Nowhere to go. I don't see this happening. I'll be honest with you.
No.
I don't think so. The next two one is very interesting. One is Colin Wilson, Colorado Avalanche, 30 years old. You know, he was sidelined all year long. He played only 9 games last season. You know, he have a couple of great years with Nashville Predators, but since that, he dropped. That's another one. I don't think so. He should sign somewhere, somehow, $1 million, 1.5. That's pretty much about him.
Yeah.
And then the next one, when we talk about, I think I would take him right away. It's Matt Martin at $1.5 million, 1.75 if you want to. Worst case, $2 million, but he's only 31 years old, this kid.
He's tough, man.
Yep.
He's a character guy. He's old school, right? But he doesn't take penalties. So that's the new type of, you know, tough guy, right? Like he'll beat you up if he has to, you know, it's like the threat of it, but he can play. Like he goes to the net. He does good stuff on the forecheck. He would fit really well. That would, if Toronto needs that type of player, go get him. Like that seems
one. You know, I don't know if you have some other news from him, but it's Connor Sherry, right wing, left wing for Pittsburgh.
Oh wow, yeah, he's a good player. I don't understand. Where's he gonna go?
I don't know. It's you know,
he's not money but he's capable. I mean, he's not big, but he can play. I mean, I think maybe they had outsized expectations for him in Buffalo, but I think he shows. Like, I mean, the guy can play with Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, and this third or fourth tiers of the UFA, I just mentioned some name, is Dominic Cahan.
I like him. I don't know why. I don't know why Buffalo didn't keep him.
So that's the one there. Cody City, Toronto. Then we have Trevor Lewis, Los Angeles. Andy Green with Islanders. Honestly, Matt Nieto, he was with Colorado. Now he's with San Jose. One we just mentioned prior, Brand Boy. That's the one. Another one for Vancouver, Josh Levo.
What?
Josh Levo.
They let him go?
Yep. He's on he did not get a qualified.
What?
Yeah.
Somebody should snap up. Those guys have value. Like Josh Levo is a gritty guy. He showed it both in Toronto and Vancouver. He's big and he can score a little bit.
Then I'm going to talk about two forward. What do you think about them? One is Melker Carlson and Michael Frolik.
Wow, they're both free agents. Frolik's on the downside, you know, like he's getting up there in age. He can still skate. He's good 2 ways. He's never been the offensive player you thought in Florida you were going to get. Melker Carlson, I'm surprised. Like San Jose keeps letting these guys go. Like he's a quick player. He's good 2 ways. Like he's not going to hurt you in the lineup. You know, like that's the type of player San Jose needs. I don't get why they don't keep him.
Yep, it's a depth players. I think there's 2 players. I think they should find a home at some point. And then I want to talk about the grandpa goaltender, Jimmy Howard, Ryan Miller, and Greg Anderson.
Jimmy Howard should retire. Ryan Miller feels like he should retire, but he does play some good games. What was the other one?
Greg Anderson.
Oh, Craig Anderson should retire. I don't know. He wants to keep playing?
Oh, yeah. One of the 3 can be with Chicago.
They could take all 3.
No, but do you really one of the 3 can be there?
I'm trying to think, you know, you could go for Anderson. He's really like, you know, he's probably similar age to Miller, right? They're kind of 39, 38. I'm trying to think of who could play more. I kind of think Craig Anderson could play more games than Ryan Miller. Jimmy Howard, man, whatever. I could see him end up in Chicago. He's younger. He has really good preparation. I think last year was, you know, exposed him for what he is with a weak team, you know, but he'll do better in Chicago. They might grab Jimmy Howard if they were smart.
But I think on all 3, I agree with you. I think Chicago should get Jimmy for 1 year.
1 year and
$2 million and go from there after that. And the last 2 players is minor, but it's Dominic Simon with Pittsburgh prior, and then Frederic Gauthier with Toronto. Two players right there, so under like top slap bottom six and see what happening. But that's the situation with all the remaining UFA players is going on and around the league.
Times, Pierre, there's a lot of guys without contracts.
Yeah, but a lot of guys with no contract. The problem is like always going on with the situation over there.
Yep.
You know, I think Boston can add Hoffman or Dadonov. I think Dadonov could be a good place to go. Boston too.
Should take them both. I mean, I could see them take one or the other, but maybe both.
Yep.
They should get Vatanen.
Now, talking about Chicago, because now the lights just turned on right now here. Do you believe they could find a place to get Marc-Andre Fleury?
Yes. Like they should have done that, but I don't know. I don't think Vegas is going to move Fleury. It seems like they have to keep him. I think their belief is that A, back to back, and B, the other guy's got a serious surgery.
I believe they should move. But the problem maybe is they cannot sold him. Like they cannot trade him because of salary. But
Totally.
I think if I was him or whatever it is, maybe pay $2-3 million, whatever it is, for the remaining of the contract per year, and get Greg Jimmy Award or one of the two there for $700 or $1 million for 1 year until the beginning of the year when you wait for wait for another come back in the mix. You know what I mean?
I don't think they're going to trade him. If you look at all the articles, they're saying that he's now not on the trade market. They're going to keep him. He only has 2 years. We're going to eat it. And that they're going to, because of the back-to-backs plus the injuries, you know, he's got, hopefully this is not a big deal, minor cleanup shoulder surgery. So hopefully that's nothing.
No, they don't expect too much. It's just maybe a beginning of that one over there. Honestly, Edmonton is under one where, they just signed back Mike.
They got no room.
Mike Smith over there. So, that's a bunch around the league right now. So that's pretty good what we did. It was another great show for all the hockey fans. We're going to follow up everything around the league if we have any updates during the day. But right now, it's look like it's very quiet. It's going to be a couple of things what's going on.
Yeah, we'll have to start going through all the rosters and looking at their situations. So let's figure out when we start doing that. I like that idea.
Yep, we'll go from that part. So thanks again, Michael, for another great show today. Have an amazing Wednesday.
Notifications, right?
Yep. And have a great Wednesday. We look forward to see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Have an amazing, great Wednesday.
Thanks, Frenchy.
See you next time. Have a good one.